Welcome guys, Mark with Bowler Performance Transmission here. We're going to break down the Tru-Shift throttle correction system. There's a ton of hot rods and muscle cars, trucks out there running around with a 700R4 or 204R, and unfortunately an incorrect throttle cable adjustment. So we're going to break down how that works and what our system does. One of the first things we want to go over on our Tru-Shift system is the cable. We use an OEM GM cable, but there's actually been some design changes throughout the years. The button is now changed to a square button that almost blends in with the housing. So many people don't realize that is the reset button now. Also, the end of the cable is actually extended into the housing, does not protrude out. So same adjustment when you press the button down. Obviously, it has the capability to come out this distance, but when it's reset all the way, and you want to see that all the way back in, this is before you start the installation, you want to know this cable's back, you've got to press this button down. This cable actually slides, so you want to pull back on this, and you can do that while it's on the car, and then whenever you set it, it'll ratchet out to the correct setting. All right, we're going to break down the installation. We're going to go by step. We've got a benchtop model here that we'll go through just for illustration. We've got a truck behind us with the system installed as well. But what we've done a cross section of the transmission. We want to just show you the details on full installation. First step is, once you're under the car, is to put the grommet. We always send a new sealing grommet for the cable in our kit. You'll want to be sure there is no grommet already installed in the transmission. So if this was an operational transmission, there may be. You want to put this grommet fully into the hole and be sure it's seated all the way. A lot of times we have people that want to naturally put it on the cable. That is not the proper way. So now that you've got the grommet installed, we're going to put the eyelet of the cable through the wire here that controls the valve. This is where it may be beneficial to have a friend with you, because you're under the car doing this a lot of times in a tight location, and you want to feed that in and pull on the other end of the cable to ensure that it's spring loaded. Be sure it's all the way seated. Once it's seated flush, put your new bolt in. We include a bolt with the system and tighten it down. All right, now we're going to move up to the carburetor side. I've already got the bracket installed, but obviously it just goes on your rear stud. The biggest thing you want to be sure is that when this is installed, it should be perpendicular to the arm. So we want to ensure this is a straight pull. So if you would see that this would be cocked forward or backwards, we do have a tab here that should rotate over and stop. After we've installed the rear bracket, we've already installed our arm. This is a correction arm. This is an important part of it. You're going to have your throttle cable that hooks here to the top. Just be sure both bolts are tight. At this point, we're going to install the new cable. And it will only go one way, but we've got these tabs that it snaps into. This button is always going to be facing outwards. But also, this is a good time to press this button down, pull on this back, and be sure that the cable is fully reset. Now you know. And you can go ahead and snap this in. Should fully seat in and snap over this. You should be able to pull it and see that it won't move. Now, remember, this is already hooked up to your transmission. You want to be sure that part's done first. Should be spring loaded. You're going to stretch this out over the eyelet and snap it in place. The next step is going to be installing your throttle bracket. This for your gas feed or gas pedal. We include 3 in the system. We've got a GM round hole, a low-car, or a GM square hole style bracket. And this will actually bolt to the upper bracket of our arm, or I'm sorry, of our bracket. So 2 bolts we include in the kit. Obviously it's adjustable. These are slotted. So it's going to be, it can go this way or this way. Whatever your vehicle requires for your cable, just ensure that whenever you're done, that you know when you push the gas pedal down, that your carburetor is truly going to wide open throttle. If you do not have a throttle cable and you've got an original throttle rod style linkage, you'll just leave the bracket off and hook it up to your eyelet. Now that we've got the system installed on our truck, we're going to do the final step to hook the cable up. We've moved inside the vehicle to set the cable. To do that, we want to first ensure that the vehicle is not running, and we're going to depress the gas pedal 2 times to go to wide open throttle. Thank you for watching this video. Be sure and follow us and like us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, and check out all the latest from Bowler Performance Transmissions.